This podcast is supported by Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. RVs are for sharing adventures with family, friends, and even your pets. So if you bring your cats and dogs along for the ride, you'll want Progressive RV insurance. They protect your cats and dogs like family by offering up to $1,000 in optional coverage for vet bills in case of an RV accident, making it a great companion for the responsible pet owner who loves to travel. See Progressive's other benefits and more when you quote RV insurance at progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pet injuries and additional coverage and subject to policy terms.
The Passing Lab is brought to you by our partner, Modern Football Technology, and their quarterback development platform. The same tool trusted by NFL coaches like Rob Everett of the Miami Dolphins, former UFL, XFL offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach A.J. Smith, and creator of the R4 system, Dubmatics. It's helping coaches make smarter decisions and build better quarterbacks rep by rep. If you're still choosing your quarterback based on gut feeling or raw stats, it's time to evolve. Modern Football Technology's quarterback development platform gives coaches real-time data from every rep, tracking timing, accuracy, and decision-making, and tying it all back to specific concepts and situations in your play data. It doesn't show you who performed, it shows you why, where they're improving, and what to coach next. That's why coaches like Rob Everett, AJ Smith, and Dubmatics are using it to develop their quarterbacks with clarity and confidence. Modern Football Technology. Clarity for coaches, confidence for quarterbacks. Learn more at modernfootball.com.
And I think if you have that buy-in from the QB room, and if you get your QBs to play at a high level, that helps all the other positions, talking pass game specifically, that helps all of them buy in. They're going to stay true to the offense, and they're all going to get low. I think when you can teach your QB and get them to play at that level, it only spreads that throughout the entire offense, speaking specifically to the pass game.
Well, this week on the Passing Lab, we have the quarterback coach of the number one offense in the FCS, and Coach Herring is going to be talking with him about a lot of ideas here in the passing game. That's Jimmy Robertson. So, Coach, tell us a little bit about Coach Robertson.
Yeah, Coach Robertson and the guys at Monmouth are killing it offensively. Yeah, like you mentioned, unbelievable offensive stats. Had a really great season, had their first win against an FBS school, and really looking forward to what they do this year. They also, Coach Robertson, as you'll hear in the episode, coaches his brother, who is one of the top FCS quarterbacks in the country. So it's a really cool story.
Let's get into it here with Coach Robertson.
All right, I want to welcome everybody to another episode of the Passing Lab. And coaches, we've got a phenomenal one today. I'm super excited, stoked about this one. We got Jimmy Robertson, the pass game coordinator and quarterback coach from Monmouth University. And guys, just go to the NCAA stat website, look up these guys' offensive stats. It's unreal. Second in the country in FCS in scoring offense, 39 points a game. They're number one in total offense. They average like 490 a game, 2.5 passing. Coach, unreal statistics. Coach Robertson's brother was a Walter Payton Award finalist. I mean, like, beat an FBS team. Unbelievable season. So you guys check out what Monmouth's doing. I'm just excited to have you on the show, Coach Robertson.
I appreciate you having me, Josh. Excited to talk about Monmouth football, and really thank you for having me.
You're sort of a celebrity, and we don't always get top-ranked FCS offenses on here. So you're bringing a lot of street cred is coming from this episode. No pressure, Coach Robertson, but this is seriously really glad. I know how it is for college coaches in the summer. You've got all these camps, you got all this stuff going on, and so anytime we get to talk to you guys, I want you to know how much we as high school coaches really appreciate it. So thanks for being on, seriously.
Anytime. Appreciate you hyping us up, and excited to talk about pass game.
So for people that don't know you, let's kind of jump into a quick career overview of kind of like how you got where you're at Monmouth and just kind of your background and story. So guys out there that may not be familiar with you can get to know you.
Yeah, for sure. From New York originally, went to Iona Prep High School in the state of New York. Great program. They're way better now than when I played. They were actually the number one team in New York State last year. So phenomenal program. Was fortunate to be a part of Iona Prep. Played quarterback there. I know you already mentioned my brother Derek, who's our starter at Monmouth. But at Iona, our older brother Dennis started at quarterback. 2 years later, I started at quarterback. And then 14 years later, our brother Derek started at quarterback. So a lot of family history there. But from there, went to RPI, Division III school, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in upstate New York, in Troy, New York, and was fortunate to be a part of a great program with great people, great teammates. I was fortunate and blessed to be a 4-year starter there at quarterback. And, we won a lot of games. We played in 4 postseasons, 1 NCAA playoff appearance, 3 bowl games. broke a lot of records and was really just fortunate, learned so much there from my coaches and was just fortunate to be surrounded by so many great people there. From there, I had the opportunity to go play in Europe for 2 years. So I played in Germany in the GFL for the Plattling Blackhawks, which was a phenomenal opportunity. Our quarterback from 2 seasons ago at Monmouth just played in Italy. I recommend to anyone that has that opportunity to go do it. You get an opportunity to travel the world, play football, and do something you love. So I had 2 amazing seasons over there. The first 2 years that the Plattling Blackhawks, my organization, was in the top league in Germany. So that was a fun time to be a part of it in a small town. And we made the playoffs my second year for the first time in the organization's history. So it was just awesome and learned so much. They love football over there. So I really learned a lot over there that helped me grow now as a coach. After playing for 2 years there, I got into coaching. And my first coaching job was at the United States Merchant Marine Academy, a Division III program in Long Island, New York. Was fortunate that Mike Toop, our head coach, hired me. I think he hired me because I played versus him when I was at RPI. He was the head coach at USMMA at the time, and we had some great battles. So I was fortunate he hired me as wide receiver coach my first year. And then I transitioned to quarterback coach my second year, was there for 4 years total. And it was just awesome. Coach at a federal service academy is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I learned a lot from Coach Toop there and all the other guys that I coached with. After 4 years there, transitioned to Fairleigh Dickinson University in New Jersey, another Division III program in Madison, New Jersey. Phenomenal school, located right across the street from the New York Jets facility right there. So beautiful area, beautiful location. I went there in 2015 as offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, OC for 5 years. And then after the 2019 season, I got promoted to interim head coach and then was blessed to be named full-time head coach right before COVID hit. So it was like one of the greatest moments of my coaching career, promoted to full-time head coach. And then a couple of weeks later, we got kicked off campus for half a year, but really was able to grow and learn and do so much with program. We had great players and a great staff there. So I was then head coach for 2 years, but only the one season, the 2021 season. I was fortunate. We had a great year. We won the first postseason game, the first bowl game in school history. Our coaching staff was coaching staff of the year, and we just had great players. My quarterback there, our quarterback there, is one of the best players I've ever been around. Anthony Caserta, he broke a ton of records there at FDU. And then that success in 2021, got me the job here at Monmouth, where I'm now Monmouth University down in Long Branch, New Jersey, right on the Jersey Shore, heading into year 4 now as the quarterback coach and pass game coordinator. And it's just been a blessing to be at such a great university and great football program, and just really enjoying this journey. We all get into coaching because it's something we love. I have a passion for the game of football. I have a passion for quarterback play. I haven't played it myself and coached it my entire career now, heading into year 15, all but 1 year when I coached receivers. And I think it's the greatest position in the world in all sports. My biased opinion, having played it and coached it, but I just love coaching that position and really just got into coaching to do what my coaches did for me, but I could do that for the next generation of players. So that's kind of my brief history, playing coaching career that has led me to where I'm at now, and excited for this 2025 season at Monmouth. As you said, we have a great offense, and excited for what our whole program is going to do this season.
I would be crazy if I didn't ask you about coaching your brother. Before we even get into that, you could do an entire podcast, I'm sure, about playing football in Europe. I mean, what a cool deal. And there's no telling. I mean, I'm sure you got some amazing stories. I wish we had.
It was awesome for sure.
So I shared with you off air, I coached my brother, which was an amazing experience. It had its ups and downs, and we had at the dinner table, it wasn't always great when I would go over there, but it was an awesome experience. And you're getting to do that, and your brother is a stud. No offense to my brother. Shout out to Adam, but he's not the caliber of player when I was coaching him that your brother is. Talk to me a little bit about that. Like, how did this happen? And what is it like when, you're in at halftime, or you're watching film, or you're in game plan and you're in there with your brother? What a cool deal.
It's so much fun. It's truly a once in a lifetime opportunity. Something that if you asked me this 7, 8, 10 years ago, I never would have thought it was even a remote possibility. And now that we get to do it, it's something we're going to remember for the rest of our lives, right? And you talk about being in there at halftime or game planning, and half of coaching quarterbacks is just the communication with the quarterback. So obviously when you communicate with your brother, someone that you've been doing that with your whole life, it's going to take it to the whole nother level. I remember sitting in our house or in our bedroom with his kids' easel and chalkboard and whiteboard that little kids have. And, this is 15 years ago when he's playing Pop Warner and getting into high school and just talking football and drawing up plays and trying to teach him stuff and helping me become a better coach because I was just getting into coaching, and him just with the love of the game that he had. But now we get to do it, like you said, it's such a high level, and it's truly something we're going to remember for the rest of our lives. Like that's what we're going to talk about in 20, 30 years. We come from a big family. We're one of 6. So, but he has a lot of nieces and nephews. I have 2 daughters that are 5 and 7, and they wouldn't know if it's Uncle Dare or Tom Brady coming out of the tunnel. They just want to give him a high five. And that's the awesome stuff that we're going to remember forever. And to have someone of his caliber that is such a great quarterback because of how much work he puts into it, that's what makes it fun. Like he makes me and pushes me to be a better coach. And it's truly, I'm just excited to be a small part of all his success.
Yeah. I remember before I had kids, I've got 3. Before I had kids, people were like, when you have kids, it changes the way you coach, which is true. Do you feel like coaching your brother has, obviously having your daughters is going to change that, but coaching your brother, has that changed how you can relate to other quarterbacks or the way you see stuff? Like maybe his honesty that he could share with you that maybe a quarterback can't always, that you're like, oh, I haven't thought of it that way. Or like, has that impacted you in any way?
100% pushes me and holds me accountable because he's such a smart, instinctive, and he's an elite processing quarterback. And obviously with the unique relationship, I just have those honest conversations with him of like, hey, what are you seeing? What are the younger QBs seeing? What is the offense seeing? And he'll be honest with me, not that other quarterbacks wouldn't if you build those relationships with them. But as you alluded to, when you're doing it with someone that you've been doing it with your whole life, like they're going to be brutally honest with you. He's really made me a better coach and pushes me to be a better coach. And like, I know I have to be on my game. Otherwise, I don't want to hear from my mom and dad either.
No doubt. I've been there, coach. I've been there. So you guys, we've already gone over the stats. We've talked through this stuff. You guys, you're killing it. And I'll say you're efficient in the run game. You're doing some great stuff in the run game. It's a passing lab, though. We have to talk passing. But what are you guys like philosophically? Just start to talk to us through, all right, without giving away too many of your secrets. But at Monmouth, what are you guys doing to light it up throwing the ball so well? Clearly, you got good players. We know that. But what are you guys doing? What are you seeing? How are you having this amount of success at a place that maybe traditionally hasn't had this sort of offensive success?
Yeah, as you said, first and foremost, we have great players, and the Monmouth recruiting model that they've built this program on, that's what first and foremost. And then from there, I truly believe, and it starts more big picture, but it's the alignment of the program. And I don't know, people probably don't know this about Monmouth, but we've had one head coach in the history of our program. Coach Callahan started this program 33 years ago, and is since the only head coach. And then the alignment into the coaching staff, like our offensive coordinator, Jeff Gallo, played here and has been on staff since. So the last 20 plus years, he's been at Monmouth, and he's finalist for National Coordinator of the Year this year. He's the best coordinator in the nation, probably the best tight end coach in the nation at any level too. Our O-line coach, Brian Gabriel, has been here for over 20 years as O-line coach. Our running back coach, Sam Dorsett, has been here for 10 plus years. You know, the two of them between pass game and run game are phenomenal. Our receiver coach, Kevin Callahan Jr., he's been here for the last 5-6 years as our head coach's son. So you take that alignment from the staff, and just speaking offensively as we get into passing, like I can't stress that enough, that the alignment we have and the collaboration we have, I truly, truly believe that helps set us up for success. Because whatever level you're at, and you hear stories, especially when you get to this level, FCS and higher, of staffs that don't have that alignment, and everyone has their own agenda. Where I've been a part of some great staffs and have heard guys talk from great staffs, but like I truly believe like we're such a unique situation with that staff continuity. I really think it starts there. And then I think a lot of our offensive success comes from, we have our system that we fully believe in. We build out our library of plays, but then I think it's how we install it and how we teach our guys. Even as we get into specifically the pass game and the quarterback success and Derek's success, I think we look at it all, and I look at it all, speaking specifically pass game and QB play, like from the eyes of the quarterback, right? So I think it's going into that communication. Do we have that communication for comprehension, right? Is our quarterback confident in it? Because if our quarterback's confident in it, he's going to have that voice with the entire offense and the entire team. Now that creates the buy-in, right? When you have that buy-in, you can have success. And as you said, we had the number 1 offense in the country last year, and we didn't lose one guy in the 2 deep from the number 1 offense in the country to the portal. And I think that's a testament to guys just fully believing in it, fully wanting to do it together. They believe in how we teach it. And then, I think it all builds from there.
Yeah, that's in this era. just to even have that stats. Anywhere to have guys not leave, but especially with the success that you guys had, that's pretty amazing. So you're talking about sort of the teaching, like talk me through installing like a process, how you go through the quarterback. So you're, whether it's spring or off season or whatever, kind of how you're going about teaching, you're putting in a new play concept, pass concept. What's your process?
Great question. So like for us, we have like 4 base installs. And I think one of the great things we do as we get into the teaching is the 4 base installs. And then after that, it's the variations of those installs. And then when we put other stuff in, it's like beaters, your red zone beaters, your terminal down beaters, your red zone touchdown throws. So I think it's allows us to really sequence our library of plays and then actually sequence plays in a game. But then specifically teaching with the QBs, to me, when I teach the QBs, it's I got to ask ourselves 3 questions. Like, is this play sound? Can I teach it? So I look back even 7, 8 years ago, how I taught quarterbacks on certain things. I'm like, man, I didn't help that quarterback be successful. That's all about learning, growing, and developing. Right? Can we teach it? And then can the QB execute it? Because then if you answer those 3 questions, then you can get into it, right? And then from there, specifically with the pass game, how can we get the QB to play instinctively, right? To get them to play instinctively, it has to be not that much for them, but look like a ton to the defense. So I think we do that a couple of ways. We're going to put all of our pass game into pass game families. And this will even go into run game or our play fast tempo packages. We put them into families. But like, all right, we have our pass game families, our 4-vert family, what we call our HPC family, which is just Y cross. We just call it hash poku chill. We have our top down PGF family, post grass flat. That's your top down play actions. You have your full field lot access throw to progression families. We probably have 7 or 8 base pass families. But when I teach the QBs or we teach the QBs, it all fits into these families.
Yeah.
And then from there, each family fits into 2 base read progressions for us. It's going to be an area read or a defender read. And when I talk to the QBs, they just have to answer 2 questions. 1, can the route progression order change? And 2, what is their thought process, right? So the area read is the route progression order never changes. It's always 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can accelerate reads, all of that, but it's always 1, 2, 3, 4. And then if we get the back out or we're 5 wide, 5. Their QB thought process is just yes, no. If 1 is open, yes, throw it. If no, go to 2, so on and so forth, right? And what open means could be different on certain plays. And that's as we get into the intricacies of the play, we talk about that. And that's an area read. A lot of our stuff fits into that in the pass game. The second one is then the defender read progression, where now the route progression order can change based on a certain defender or a certain look from the defense. Right. And then the QB thought process is just if then. If the defender does this, then I do that. But it might take them left, right, up, down. Like there's a lot more variables to the defender read. It could be a combination of numbers, pre-snap or post-snap, vertical, high, low stretches, our divide reads, our horizontal expansion reads. But I think our QBs, one of the best things they do is they have the full understanding of, okay, what family is it? What read progression is it? And now we can have, you talked 4 verts. We run 20 different variations of 4 verts, but they all fit into the 4-vert family. They all are a defender read on the play side safety. So what looks like a lot to a defense is literally one thing for our quarterbacks. So I think that's where, we can help separate ourselves and get our QBs to play instinctively. Because at the end of the day, like to me, defenses are too good now. And this is a compliment to defenses. Like it's very, very hard to know what defenses are doing at times. So like we have to focus on us first as quarterbacks. And to me, a trained quarterback plus an offensive system can beat any defense because now your QB truly knows what he's doing. There's answers for all. They know what their answers are to cover 0, cover 1. I think that's something you always have to talk about. You have to have protections answers, whether it's built in or QB controlled. We're very much a QB controlled team. I like to say we're a pro style mentality in a college no huddle spread system because of the amount that we put on our QBs, from protection to having, ability to kill out of plays and knowing what their man or blitz answers are. And then once you do that, you really focus on yourself first. Then the coverage can accelerate reads for our quarterback. We talk a lot about how can we accelerate reads and accelerate footwork, but we talk also within defensive structure. And I know I'm giving the long-winded answer here, but I have a passion for teaching the quarterbacks of, not necessarily the big picture coverage. We talk about like what's the deal of defenders, DEAL, their demeanor, eyes, and leverage. because every play we're going to do our pre-snap scan, or what we call our fox, rat, dog scan, which is boundary safety, field safety, and then your field outside linebacker. We call that the fox, rat, and dog. Right? They're going to give you some answers, but defense, again, a compliment to defenses. Defenses are so good at disguising things that the deals of defenders, that's what gives our QBs the answers to the test, in my opinion. What's their demeanor? Is it a run demeanor, a pass demeanor, a blitz demeanor? Are they on their toes? Is it a disguised demeanor, right? Their eyes, is it man eyes or zone eyes? Man eyes looking at the receiver, zone eyes looking in at the QB, and then the leverage, right? Leverage in relation to where we're trying to get to, leverage in relation to what the coverage could be. So I think that the deal of defenders really helps our QBs accelerate reads, really helps our QBs understand, okay, it's probably going to be this coverage or that coverage, and I think that allows our QBs, again, to go back full circle to play instinctive and just really understand where to go with the ball and be able to tap in, is what we call timing and placement. But it's because they know what to do and when to do it.
Yeah, well, that's a great way. Just the organization that you've got kind of scaffolded out is just really cool. It's really good to be able to look that way. When you, as a college quarterback coach, when you have a new recruit, like you have a first year, you have a freshman guy come in, you've got experienced guys that kind of have worked their way through this stuff. How collaborative is it in the quarterback room of those older guys helping and being like, all right, look, first you have to learn the deal thing. You got to work your way through this. How do you, in the quarterback room, how do you manage a guy like your brother that's played and got all kinds of reps, and then this new guy that comes in that's trying to learn your system?
Yeah, great question. And it's 100%, 110% collaborative effort of we want our quarterbacks to be great teachers of this, right? Because to me, if they're great teachers of it, then they're going to just be better out on the field to help out everyone on every position at all times. So it's a full collaborative effort we talk about something here at Monmouth, for the room, right? Something that I put all over social media. When I text our QBs, we're always talking about it, but it's for the room. Is one success is all success. There's one quarterback playing out there at any given time, but his success is just as much the success of the number 2 or the number 5, because we're all doing it together, collaboratively, pushing each other, competing with each other. But at the end of the day, one guy's out there. So our QBs, from Derek to everyone else in the program, our backup last year was a kid that came in as a walk-on, ended up earning a full scholarship. Him and Derek were both captains. But his leadership and being such a great teammate allowed Derek to have all this success and BCAA Player of the Year and, all the records that he broke, as you mentioned previously. So again, I think that's critical. I think that even goes back into the alignment of our staff. That feeds into the culture of the program, the culture of the offense, the culture of the QB room. Those are the best teams. A lot of people talk about being a family, but the continuity of our staff and that culture that Coach Cal's created for 33 years, that's how the QB room is too.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's something that's the secret sauce everybody's looking for. And you talked about just the continuity, which, when you have guys that work together that long, you're going to have the alignment and collaboration piece that everybody's looking for just naturally somewhat when those guys are getting along. And if you feed that over to the kids, getting kids to, everybody's looking for, how can we get kids to celebrate the success of others? And you hear that constantly in culture talks. If you can do that, then you can have something really special. Having that, that's a really cool thing in the quarterback room for sure.
And I think if you have that buy-in from the QB room, and if you get your QBs to play at a high level, that helps all the other positions, talking pass game specifically, that helps all of them buy in. Our top 5 receivers from last year all came back. Our top 2 tight ends, redshirt freshman was a freshman All-American running back. All of these guys came back because they know Derek or whoever's in at QB is just going to stay true to their reads. They're going to stay true to the offense, and they're all going to get love. So I think when you can teach your QB and get them to play at that level, it only spreads that throughout the entire offense, speaking specifically to the pass game.
When talking about your teaching and kind of how you've gone through how you guys bucket this and organize it, so with the amount of RPOs, with the RPOs that you're doing, do your past concepts you're teaching sort of fall within that, or do you have your own separate way of teaching that with RPOs? This is our RPO process, and this is how we organize whatever attachments we're going to have with the different run game.
No, very similar. Very similar to, it's going to fit into a family of plays, and then the reads will fit into the family of reads. And then we have a lot of consistency and carryover. A lot of our RPOs, especially if it's a 2-man RPO, those same two-man concepts might carry over to pass game stuff for us. A lot of our single receiver RPOs, that's very much QB controlled, carry over to potential single receiver access throw. That might be the first read of a full field drop back progression. So I think that as much as you can carry all of that stuff over, especially for, again, speaking just through the QB's eyes, because that's kind of how I just look at everything, is how can we get our QB to play instinctively? As much carryover as we can have from the RPO routes to what you might call a quick game route or a drop back route.
Definitely. At the college level, so talking to college guys this offseason, I've heard all these different thoughts on RPOs and what's going on with them. And so there are guys that are telling me that they feel like the kind of the secret sauce right now, if you want to still be able to throw RPOs, is obviously you got to have run game success, but it's less out of true spread or even 11 personnel, and it's more getting into 12 or 1 personnel type heavier run looks to get the easier access throws, because you're getting guys back into one high doing that. And you're not dealing with people that are trying to get you to run the ball and then rally up and tackle. I've noticed you guys just watching film, you're in some 12, 21-ish type personnel looking sets quite a bit. And you run the ball, like we said, well. Have you found that that's helped you guys with your RPO game and getting those easy access throws on the outside?
100%. We are just the foundation of our offense. We're based out of 11. But we run so much 12, and if we think 12 will give us an advantage in a game, whether it's personnel-wise or we can get a sub-package in, we'll stay in 12. There was a game this year, we came out first drive of the game, ROC was like, hey, we're staying in 12 the rest of the game unless they stop it. And we played probably 95% of the game in 12, and we scored, I think, over 50 points in the game. And it's a mixture of 12 personnel, true 12 sets, tight and wing, double tight. But then we'll play fast and be in a true spread set out of 12 pers. So going back to the question, though, of like the RPO game, 12 pers allows us to dictate so much, and our QBs understand so well. And just Derek and all of those guys, they just do a great job of taking what the defense gives us from pre-snap access throws to then post-snap access throws, truly reading it in the RPO game, and single receiver, two receiver, be controlled. It's been beautiful for our success. And like my background is 10 personnel, a little bit 11. So I've learned so much here from ROC and O-line coach, running back coach, our receiver coach. All of them have been here, and they've been running a lot more 12 than I ever have in these last 3 seasons. Like, I see why it helps us be so successful, and it's something that is tough to defend as a defense.
Yeah, no doubt. How conscious are you guys when you're doing self-scout and you're looking at game plan stuff? How conscious are you of, we want this percentage of RPO throws versus this percentage of quick game or drop back or play action? Does that really vary from game to game? Or is it kind of like, we know, and you don't have to give us the numbers, but like, look, we need to kind of be around this number for us to be successful. Having been here this long, we know our program. These are kind of our numbers for number of snaps and how we're going to lay out our percentages.
Yeah, great question. And when we game plan, we do. We have, hey, we want to have X amount of runs, and probably, most of them are going to have some sort of RPO or access or motions. Then we want X amount of drop back, X amount of play action, X amount of screens or speed sweeps and reverses. That's just the base game plan. Then we go the situational, terminal down, red zone, all of that stuff. So we do have a certain amount that we want in each. But I'll say this, and this is where, our offensive staff, they all do a great job, and, led by our OC, is we're not going to just say we have to run X amount once we get into a game. Like, we're going to keep running what gives us the advantage. And I know I alluded to the game earlier, but there was a game we played pretty much the whole game in 12, after the first drive, and scored over 50 because it gave us an advantage, and we played, in all different formations out of it and different tempos out of it, but we felt it gave us an ability to control the game. So I think that's where we do a really, really good job, is just taking what the defense gives us from that perspective. And we don't care, people say, like, are you balanced? Are you more run or pass? Or even recruits will ask us, like, hey, are you more run or passing? I just say we're explosive. We want to score a lot of points. We don't care if we run 50 plays or 105 plays. We want explosive plays. We want touchdowns. And we just want to score a lot of points. However, we got to get those points.
Yeah, explosive plays. I mean, we all know that's the ticket right now. It's harder and harder to just drive the ball and execute. If you get those explosives, you can be good on offense. You talked a lot about giving quarterbacks freedom and protection and how much kind of leeway you give your quarterbacks. In your RPO game, are they tagging some things sometimes, or is it kind of always locked into the call? Or do you give them the freedom to be like, no, we like this. I want to throw this to the 2-man side, or I'm going to throw this to the boundary?
Yep. No, they have full control. There's times where we'll tag a certain RPO, but I will say in our offense in general, going back to that pro style mentality in a college spread system, is the QB kind of controls it all for us. At the end of the day, we talk about just giving our QBs tools in their toolboxes, giving them weapons to allow us to exploit defensive looks, giving them weapons to exploit cover 0 and cover 1, giving them weapons and tools to exploit, blitz pressures or whatever it might be. So we put as much as our QB can handle. And right now we're fortunate that Derek can handle a lot. I would say he's probably one of the most elite processing quarterbacks in the country at any level. And that's what's going to give him a chance to play on Sundays. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not the biggest QB, but he's an elite processor. So we put a lot on his plate. And then that pushes the younger guys in our room too, because we're coaching it at the level that Derek's at right now. So it really pushes our other guys to elevate as well. But no, we put a lot on their plate to verbal or nonverbal communication, at the line of scrimmage.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
You had talked about how many different tags you have all 4 verticals and how that was kind of a big part of what you guys do. So I look at that every year, every off season. I kind of look at different teams and what they're doing vertical wise. And that's a big area of interest of mine. And I think what you're seeing right now in teams that I'm looking at is there's more and more differentiation between the people that are really good in the vert game and the people who are just kind of doing it. And so what you're seeing is those teams that are bad, like their efficiency numbers, completion percentage, explosion, it's just become a bad play. But the people that are really good at it and really efficient with it, whatever version they're doing, like they're just killing people with it. What are you guys like? Coach me up a little bit. Clearly you do a lot of stuff with it, but kind of how do you work through the vert game and determine the tags you're going to use? And like, what are you guys doing with vert?
Yeah. 4 verts has become a huge part of our offense. And I think it starts even with taking a step back of like teaching our quarterbacks. I tell the QBs every play, they need to ask themselves the question of, can the defense cover 4 verts right now? If they can't cover 4 verts right now, one, we're going to have an explosive play touchdown opportunity because we probably 4 or 5 times a game. I think this year's numbers, it was like 4.75 times a game. So if they can't cover 4 verts, we're probably running it. We're going to have an explosive. Or the other thing is if they can't cover it pre-snap, then they're disguising something. So you just got a piece of the answer of the test because they can't cover 4 verts. It kind of starts there for us and it helps the QBs. And then I just love 4 verts that our QBs do because it just makes the defense cover the whole field. And like you said, we have so many variations of it and our QBs are good at it because they're decisive. Like our starter right now, Derek, like the number one thing we tell him, and this is in general to all of our QBs, is just be decisive. I'll get into how we read it and teach it, but be decisive and read it as you see it. Because we have multiple people, multiple receivers are going to read it as well. But just be decisive and read it as you see it, because how you see it might not be how the receiver sees it, but you see the big picture. You see pre-snap what the defense looked like. You see pre-snap what the deals of the defender were. So just be decisive, read it as you see it, and then tap in. And I love it because I think it fits all offensive styles. Because I'm sure people listening to your show here, some are going to be 10 purse, some are going to be 12 purse, some are going to be 21 purse. Like as I said, when I was at FDU, my last season there in 2021, we were 10 purse, air raid, got into a living, a little bit of 11 purse, and we probably ran 4 verts, different variations, like 8 or 9 times a game. It was a huge play for us. Whereas now here at Monmouth, we're 11 purse, 12 purse, running it almost 5 times a game, but it's just as efficient and just as explosive for us. Like you alluded to it before, like we beat FIU, FBS, our first FBS win this year in Monmouth history. In that game, I think we ran 4 verts 12 times. We were like 7 of 12, 12 passing yards, I think it was, on 4 verts. We ran 6 variations of 4 verts that game. We ran true tempo, 2 of the best 2x2 4 verts of the season, where we're just throwing on rhythm at a tempo. so the defense can't get set, right? We ran 12 personnel, FSL, motion, switch four verts. But again, going back to just how we teach the QBs, it was all same read for them. So again, I don't think no matter what offense you run, I just fully believe in this play. And we've grown with it here at Monmouth. How we ran it 3 years ago is a little bit different than how we run it now to kind of evolve as we go. But the base of it starts for us is just the 2x2 play with the base install. And then we get into 3x1 and other variations, motions, that stuff. But as I said before, it all starts with our 4-vert family, talking about families of plays. Then the read is a defender read for us. And it's a defender read on the play side safety. And the play side could be right, it could be left, it could be field, it could be boundary. It's just wherever in the play call, we call the play side. Off of there, the routes for the receivers, both number ones have what we call a read vertical. So their mindset is they're running a 15-yard comeback unless they get press man or a hard cloud corner. So we call it a read vertical, comeback unless mentality, 15-yard comeback unless they get press man or cloud. If they get that, now they're running a go. From there, then number 2 call, number 2 to the play side, he's going to run our read bender. So him and the quarterback are going to both read that play side safety for capped or uncapped. If they get a capped look, capping that vertical space where he can't run by him freely, then he's going to bend it on his 4th outside step. And our receiver coach, Coach K-Cal, does a phenomenal, he's a technician of receivers and great in the pass game. But it's on that 4th outside step, they bend it because 4 verts is all about timing from the QB perspective. So like those 2 FIU plays that I was alluding to before, like Derek is throwing it before our guy even bends, but he just trusts on that 4th outside step, he's bending at a winning angle. So if we get that capped look, he'll bend it. If you get an uncapped look, meaning no one capping him vertically, now he's just going to run the seam. And the base landmark for that will be +1 outside the hash, +1 yard outside the hash. And then 2 away, we'll just run a lock seam. So just a lock vertical up the backside seam. So again, you have the read verticals on the outside. 2 call has the read bender, could be a bend or a seam. And then 2 away has the lock seam. The QB's read now, if it's a capped look, defender read on play side safety. If he's capped, he's going bend to outside to check down. And our running back runs what we call a bank check down. He really just has that 5-yard area in the tackle box to get open. So capped look, bend outside to check down. If you get an uncapped look, we're now going seam to backside outside to check down. With the caveat of if you get an uncapped look, you're probably getting a variation of cover 3. So you get a lot of corner overlap from the play side corner. Our QBs do a phenomenal job. It's almost like a 1A read is the seam, play side seam. If they get a corner overlap, especially to the boundary more than the field, and they know that they had that outside linebacker was tight, they get corner overlap, they go 1A seam, they can take that comeback as B versus corner overlap. So like the true playbook read uncapped is play side seam, backside outside check down. But the 1B is corner overlap. Take that play side outside. Then you add in the switch variations, which we run a ton of, but it's really become a really, really good play for us. But that's the base install just from the base 2x2 day 1 of 4-vert teaching.
So going from a guy that was 10P to more 11 and 12, but have you found anything, just you're coaching the quarterbacks, you've got a tight end being one of the guys on these seams or benders. Is it different in any way? Like, has that helped of having that guy go from he's on the ball in a 3-point stance and you just get a different release? Like, has that been something you think has been beneficial since you've been at Monmouth?
Yeah, I think running 4 verts from so many different personnels, and we do it a lot with motions, and I'll say we don't have the tight end as like the true spread read bender. But when we run to the boundary or they're the backside lock seam or our switch vertical game, we do a lot of motions and switch verticals. They're a huge part of it. And it's become such an efficient and explosive play because it's so versatile, yet so simple at the same time for us. Just kind of talking back to that creative simplicity of like, it truly helps our run game. It helps our protection. Again, it goes back to just being decisive. Our QB, especially Derek right now, he gets the ball out so quickly and on time. Like people think 4 verts, 95% of our completions are like out in like 2 seconds. He's 1, 2, 3. And we talk about rhythm throws. Like if he's throwing the first read in 4 verts, it's a rhythm throw. So a quick 3 from the gun. As he plants that back foot, 1, 2, 3, like that ball is coming out on time in rhythm. There's even times on film with watch Derek, he goes 1, knows it's going to be open and accelerates his footwork to really just like a gather and then might rip it, especially to the boundary with the switch vert variation if you get that corner overlap. So think the timing. Again, pass game is all about timing and spacing. When your QB can understand that and get the ball out quick, and then you add in the 12 personnel. Now there's so many layers of sequencing plays in 12 personnel. And I'll just go back to the one I mentioned about FIU, FSL, 12 pers through motion. We had an RPO off of it that we got mileage out of. We had play action off of it. And now we're running switch verts off of it. Like that's very, very tough to defend, for a defense, especially when the next play you might just go tempo, 12 per spread.
Yeah, that's so good. I love the point you made about defenses have to cover 4 verts. If you don't make them do it, then you're giving them an advantage. Like they have to have, any defense has got to be gap sound and they've got to be able to cap 4 verticals in some way. So that being like a core part of just the way you're teaching quarterbacks is so good because kids don't necessarily think that way. Like there's so many times that defenses, I feel like, can cheat when you get into your bigger personnel sets because you won't threaten them with a vertical. In the 11 personnel world that everybody in college football is in right now, so many of those guys are a 6 offensive linemen, which is fine. But if you never run that guy vertical, you're just letting them cheat a guy back in. And so like having that philosophy and perspective, I think is just really good. I think that's really smart. And it's a smart way to teach quarterbacks too.
Yeah, that was shout out to, he's actually the head coach at FDU now, Anthony Van Kuren. I believe it was him that told me when he was our DC there, like we have to cover 4 verts every play. And then it really challenged me then to now teach that way too, because like you said, a lot of teams that get to 12 pers, they're not pushing all 4 skill guys vertical. It's either going to be downhill run or play action, top down read. So it really challenges and puts pressure on defenses for sure.
Last question about verts. Just one more thing I'm just intrigued by because of all the things that you guys do. So you're going to run 4 verts and you've got your base, which is solid against everything. But what are you looking at? So you come in on film and you're looking at the opponent on Sunday or whatever. What are the things that are going to determine for you, all right, these are of our 20 or so tags we've got in this bucket. These are the things we need to be able to use to really attack and create explosive this week. So like, in other words, what's making you come off your base? What are the things that you're looking at when you game?
Great question. I think it all starts even going back to like the run game of these are the best runs we like. These are the best formations we like these runs out of. And then from like the QB perspective and pass game, it's okay. Now where can we get our best 4 verts? Right? We're always going to have our bread and butter 1 or 2. We always have a tempo spread 1. We're always going to have our tempo switch verts. What other 1, 2, 3 do we want in the game plan? So now we can complement our base run plays out. We can complement those formations and motions. And where can we create an explosive opportunity where maybe they're vulnerable to 4 verts? So that's kind of big picture, how we look at it. And then we'll go in every week with, like you said, we'll go with, could be 4, 5, 6 of them. I think at FIU, we ran 7 variations of it. So it's kind of attacking it that way for us. And because we're going to a game where it'll be tempo, spread 2x2, true 11 pers tempo. We'll have an empty variation of it. We'll have our true 12 pers variation. And I know I've said it multiple times already, but I'm a firm believer in because it's all the same read for the quarterback, whether it's field, boundary, switch, base, empty, motion, no motion, you can do a lot of it because it's the same as.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the great thing about it and the way you guys are teaching that stuff. I love the teaching process. So we're kind of coming to the end. It's time for our famous question. So Coach Robertson, you are getting ready for a game or it's during a game. Are you a sideline or box guy, first of all?
I'm a sideline guy, coaching the quarterbacks. I love being on the sideline personally because I want to be there with them. I want to be able to look in their eyes to feel them. How are they feeling in the game? What are they seeing out there? Maybe I want to just yell something to the sideline if I see something to them. Nowadays, Derek he'll give me the wave off like, hey, I already saw that 5 seconds ago, bro. Like, stop yelling so the defense hears you. But no, I'm a sideline guy, and I love just being down there to be with them and feel how they're feeling.
Got you. So you're a sideline guy. Since you are a sideline guy, are you a hat guy or no hat guy? Do you let it ride and let the wind hit the head, or are you a hat guy?
I'm a hat guy. Got to have the nice Monmouth trucker hat. I'm bald though. This is a podcast, but I'm as bald can be. Nice shine on the head. So I got to make sure I put the suntan lotion on. I probably get the trucker hat suntan. If it's a nice weather game, I got to wear that trucker hat.
So that's good stuff. Some guys are like, I do not wear a hat ever. I've got to. I'm fair skinned. I got to wear. I'm balding, so I got to have the hat. But there's all kinds of variation. What's your pregame drink though? It's our final question. Everybody wants to know this. You're going to hear these other pods once these all come out. Like we've had Sundrop. You ever heard of Sundrop up in New York? It's a very southern thing, but we've had a coach that drinks Sundrop.
I never heard of it.
You'll have to listen to that one. If you guys haven't, we've got all kinds of cool drinks. What do you got? Either during or before the game, whatever you prefer. Like what gets you jacked and going?
Yeah, so I like to say I'm a high energy guy in general. I'm very calm. I feel like in coaching the quarterbacks, I feel like as a QB, that's how I wanted to be coached. So I try to do that and be that calming presence and just communicate and talk. So I'm not a big like rah-rah guy and that kind of stuff. In whether it's pregame, in-game, it's more just communicating with the QBs. So because of that, like, I'm not drinking energy drinks and all that. I'll have my normal, cup of coffee or two in the morning. Love coffee. Our offensive staff here is big coffee staff.
Yes.
But I will say I love, shout out to our sport performance team, is we have all the electrolyte drinks. I'm definitely having 1 to 2 of either Elements pregame or during halftime, after the game, Element. I think the other one our training staff has is like the Right Stuff or Just Right. Phenomenal electrolyte drinks just to keep me hydrated. So I would say that's what I have, and just, try to stay calm, cool, and collected with the cues.
Very cool. And I'm so glad you said that. For head coaches that are out there listening to this, quit screaming and dog cussing the quarterback out during the game. Quit screaming at him. Their job is hard enough. Be calm with those guys. I'm so glad you said that. It's like, what you want him to be calm out on the field. Let's be calm with. He's not like, it's not an O lineman. It's not a D lineman. He's got a lot of stuff going on, guys.
100%, especially if you're an offense that relies so heavily on the quarterback for making checks at the line and giving them freedom like we do. We just got to talk through it. We have to talk through what we're seeing. I am a huge proponent of they're going to be yelled at. We coach them hard, but it's going to be in more of like a communicative fashion to keep them relaxed. Like you said, we need them to make that 4th and 4 throw or that touchdown throw in the red zone or lead us on the 2-minute drive. They got to be level-headed, calm, and just ready to lead us.
No doubt. Coach, appreciate you so much being on here. This has been great. I know it's a busy time, but there's so many nuggets that people are going to get out of this. And I know I've got a ton of notes. I'll go back and listen to it and even write down some more stuff. It's just great stuff. Really appreciate having you on the podcast.
No, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Again, I love talking QB play, pass game, forwards, or anything in between. You do a great job with this podcast. I've listened to many episodes before and really appreciate it and humbled that you asked me to be on. And just shout out to you guys. Shout out to our program, our players, our coaching staff, because it's a collaborative effort. So glad to represent all of Monmouth football here today.
Yeah, Coach. Best of luck to you guys. You guys go light it up, scar some people up out there on the field and score a bunch of points. We're going to be rooting for you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach, another episode packed with details. I know you always look for those 3 things that really pop for you. What are those this week?
Yeah, so much good stuff. I love how Coach Robertson talked about alignment and collaboration within a staff. He mentioned at Monmouth how long those guys have been together, but any staff can learn from that, and just being on the same page and being able to collaborate with each other and everybody feeling they have input. Man, what an important part of staffs today, especially with the movement that we have so much in the coaching profession. I love kind of the way they think about scheme and install and even teaching kids. Is the concept sound? Can I teach the concept, and can the kids execute the concept? That's something all of us can use, and maybe some of us have used, but it's so easy to forget that when you're going through stuff. Is this good for our kids? Is it something we can teach? I think that's a great model. And then a big topic right now in offensive football is bucketing of concepts, and there are a lot of clinic talks, but Coach Robertson kind of went through some of the bucketing they have of past concepts, and I think that's something we can all use as a model of just being sure do your things make sense, so they make sense for continuity and teaching for your kids. So just a ton of great stuff in that episode.
Yeah, and if you didn't get enough of Monmouth offense, I'll link some of the clinic talks they've done at Lawrence First and Goal. These guys have been all over Lawrence First and Goal. Very generous, obviously, presenting and sharing their presentations in order to help pediatric brain tumor research and cancer services. So the link to that is in the show notes. Be sure to check those out as well. Coach, as always, thank you for the time and the effort you put into these, and another great one here on the Passing Lab.
Thank you again to Coach Herring for putting together the Passing Lab, an outstanding job every single week of the series. Remember to check out our partner, Modern Football Technology. Build smarter, coach clearer, and develop your quarterbacks rep by rep. Modern Football Technology, where quarterback development meets real data. Visit modernfootball.com to learn more. Follow all we're doing at coachandcoordinator.com. We have a ton of articles and blogs there about all of our episodes and our coaches who appear on the podcast. Follow us on X at Coach K. Grabowski.